And one final time here at this 2022 Prairie Farms Holiday Basketball Classic. We welcome you back to Virgil Fletcher Gymnasium here on the campus of Collinsville High School. Game number 32 is here. Final game of the 3 days. That means it is the championship game. And this one should be a good one as the Quincy Blue Devils take on the MacArthur Generals out of Decatur. My name is Todd Duke alongside Matt Clark. We're glad that you're with us here and you stuck with us throughout as we have arrived on championship day to the championship game. And as I mentioned, Matt, this should be a good one.
Well, obviously, we talk about the two best teams hopefully making it into the championship game. I would say with confidence that the two best teams are in the championship today. It's going to be a fantastic matchup against two teams that have huge aspirations, not just to win this tournament, but go far in their respective state tournaments. Decatur MacArthur's a 3A team, and Quincy's in Class 4A. Two teams that played each other last year in the semifinal. Decatur MacArthur came back in a huge comeback and won that game, ended up winning the championship. And so it's only fitting that Quincy will have a chance to get them back here right at the end of this tournament in the championship game.
Well, let's hope it goes better than the third place game did. Boy, oh boy, I was surprised about that. 82-54 in favor of Belleville East, and I did not see that coming.
Well, Belleville East, that's a good response, and that was the response I was kind of looking for from Jeff Creek's team. They took a tough loss. You know, they really should have won that game, I think, against Decatur MacArthur, and they just sold it right at the end of the game. And so they needed to respond. They needed to make sure they didn't keep their heads down and then finish. And Rockford East, you know, that was kind of more of a performance we had expected from Rockford East. They shot the ball really well in the first three games and then just kind of had a stinker today. Their defense wasn't that good, and Belleville East took advantage of it. And how about that slam from Jordan Pickett?
Yeah.
He went up and slammed it home. It's a shame because Jordan Pickett, if he had had a better day one, he probably could have won MVP.
He's got an outside chance. He's got an outside chance to
see.
still do that. We'll see how the rest of the voting goes. Let's take a look at some of the scoring that we have. Bradley Longcore the third. He has 50 points. Him and his teammates, three of them, into double digits as far as average goes. 16.7 for Longcore, 10.7 for Camden Brown, and an even 10 for Keyshawn Thomas. Only four teams with three guys in double digits as far as average goes. Two of them are meeting here tonight because on the other side, Mackay Wright has 47 points. He's averaging 15.7 here in this tournament. Chase Cunningham is at 13 even, and Azarian Richardson is at 11 points as an average here in this contest. So there should be some firepower in this game.
Yep, and what Quincy's going to want to do, what last year's big factor was, is that they gave up 34 points to Decatur MacArthur in the paint, and no opponent really has been able to defend Decatur MacArthur that well. I'd say that Decatur MacArthur Generals are the toughest team that Quincy has faced in terms of defense, and Quincy is tough. This is the toughest offense that Quincy has faced in this tournament.
You might be onto something there, sir, as we get ready for this one. These two teams are about ready to be introduced. And we also, I believe, have a national anthem coming up for the championship game, so we'll have to keep our ears open for that and take the break when it's appropriate. But here are your starters. We'll begin with the MacArthur Generals. Chase Cunningham, the 6'1" senior. Azarian Richardson, the 6'3" senior. Chris Walker, the 6'4" senior. Mackay Wright is a 6'7" senior. And Stevie Tatum, the only non-senior, he is a junior who stands at 6'2". For Quincy, Ralph Wires gets the start. He's a 5'9" junior, along with fellow junior Camden Brown, who stands at 6'5". And we will be back in just a moment on the K-Hawk Sports Network.
The Collinsville Education Association is a proud supporter of KHawkSports.com and the K-Hawk Sports Network. The CEA is your partner as they work to ensure quality education for our children. The CEA advocates excellence and equity in public education and represent over 400 educators in 11 schools in both Madison and St. Clair counties. For more information, you can visit the Collinsville Education Association's Facebook page or the CEA's website at collinsvillecea.org. Brady Pest and Termite Management in Caseyville. Brady Pest and Termite Management is your local pest control source. The Midwest offers its fair share of pest problems, and Brady Pest and Termite Management is up to the challenge. Whether it's pesky rodents in the cold winter months or ants, spiders, and other pests in the warm months, Brady Pest and Termite is your solution. And termites? Brady Pest is tops in the Metro East in termite management. Do you have unwanted pests? Then call the best. Brady Pest and Termite Management in Caseyville. Call 343-1790 or on Facebook at Brady Pest and Termite.
Collinsville High School alumni Stacy Lauenstein, CHS class of 91, Lisa Bassetto, Sarah Sulke, and Tracy Limp, CHS class of 94, Tony Geisen, CHS class of 96, and Kevin Robinson, CHS class of 99, want to wish all of our K-Hawks a great year. We look forward to cheering you on and supporting you. Work hard on the court and the field, as well as in the classroom. Remember, once a K-Hawk, always a K-Hawk. Hashtag K-Hawk Family.
Your home is where you feel happy, safe, and secure. So if you see signs of foundation problems like cracks or uneven floors, worrying is natural, and getting it fixed is crucial. Woods Basement Systems understands. We've been solving foundation worries since 1986. Woods experts have the training and equipment to make permanent repairs. So stop worrying, because with Woods, it's fixed forever. Foundation problems don't get better with time, they get better with Woods, the all things basement-y experts. Call or go to woodsbasementsystems.com today.
All right, we are back at Virgil Fletcher Gymnasium. Sorry about that. I'm not sure really when they are going to do the national anthem. Sometimes it's after they announce the lineup, sometimes it's before, and this time it turned out to be before. So we will finish our lineups here with the Quincy Blue Devils. Ralph Wyers, 5'9" junior. Camden Brown, 6'5" junior. Tyler Sprick, 6'2" junior. Bradley Longcore III, a 6'3" sophomore. And Keyshawn Thomas, a 6'6" sophomore. And you forget sometimes that Longcore is only a sophomore. He's so good.
Yeah, Bradley Longcore has had a really good tournament here. I think, 18, 22, and 10 points. He didn't force a lot against Rockford East because he didn't need to, but Bradley Longcore is going to play D1 basketball. This will be some of the toughest defense he will face this season. Chase Cunningham is a very good on-ball defender.
Just finishing up announcing the Quincy starters here before they move over to the MacArthur starters. So we'll get about a half-hour late start here in this championship game as we move along, and we're glad that you're with us. All right, let's take a look at some of these other numbers from the three-point line. Quincy comes in 31%, hitting 15 of 47. Even less than that for Decatur MacArthur at 25% on 11 of 43 from the free throw line. These two teams are pretty good. Decatur MacArthur at 79%. They lead this tournament in that category. 42 of 53 coming into this game. Not too far behind is Quincy at 64% as they have hit 32 of 50. The rebounds are almost dead even. 106 for Decatur, 105 for Quincy, and the turnovers are pretty close too. Quincy's turned the ball over 43 times compared to MacArthur's 40.
I'll tell you what, the other thing that's going to be very interesting, one of the reasons why MacArthur won that game last year, and one of the reasons why they won against Belleville East in the semifinals, they hit their free throws. 20 of 22 from the line. Quincy cannot continue to foul, especially if this game's stalled really tight in this one.
Camden Brown out there in the center court circle, the 6'5" junior, ready to face off against Makai Wright, the 6'7" senior, and we are underway in the championship game. MacArthur, they win the opening tip, and they control the ball first on offense. They bring it into Makai Wright in the paint, tries to split the defense, and a foul handed out in the first 10 seconds of this game.
Yeah, it looks like Quincy's going to play that matchup zone that they like to play a little bit, and so they've got to make sure that Makai Wright doesn't get a lot of touches inside, because that doesn't mean that Keyshawn Thomas is going to be playing man-to-man against Makai Wright a ton, and that gives Wright that gives Wright the size advantage.
This place is packed on the lower bowl, completely packed on the lower bowl, and about 50% in the upper areas, so this is a nice crowd here as Makai Wright misses the first one, and he'll get a chance at one more here.
Triad also has a couple of students in this that stayed after the Consolation Championship game because Reed O'Brien played at Triad.
That's right. And, well, of course, we got all team coming up, the all-tournament team coming up. Some of these guys stick around to make sure that they collect their hardware from that. And, of course, we'll have the MVP named during that time as well. Here is a strong move up front by Camden Brown, and that's how the scoring gets started. Blue Devils up front 2-0. Here comes MacArthur. And Cunningham gets a thread the needle pass that finally hits Chris Walker, and they find Mekhi Wright just outside the lane. Kick it back outside. Here is Richardson for three. Won't go, and Mekhi Wright, he held off for a minute because he thought it was going to fall in. It didn't, but Cunningham, he cleaned up the trash, and we're tied at 2.
One of the reasons Quincy made the championship game is because they rebounded the ball really well there. 2 open generals on the offensive boards. Quincy can't have that in this game, especially when Decatur-MacArthur really capitalizes off of those chances.
Here is Keyshawn Thomas. Thomas fires it over to Camden Brown. Brown from the top of the key at the free throw line, picks up his dribble, gives to Loncourt. Loncourt into the perimeter, backs back out, and comes back in, puts up a floater, but that's too far, and we're going to have a foul underneath the basket, and I believe Keyshawn Thomas got fouled. We'll have to see who it goes against, and it looks like it's going to go
against Mekhi Wright.
Yep.
Mekhi Wright's got to stay out of foul trouble. That has to happen. He is the piece of Decatur-MacArthur. Offensively and defensively, there was just a rough foul there because the shot obviously went long. And Keyshawn Thomas, one of the more poor free throw shooters for Quincy, is going to go to the line here.
Keyshawn Thomas, 6 of 12 here in this tournament from the free throw line, and he misses the first one, so he's right at 50%, so that means he'll make the second one, right?
Well, we'll have to see here. He needs to make 2 of 2. It's the championship game. You can't be missing free throws left and right. Both teams, I mean, MacArthur missed their opening 2 free throws, which is uncharacteristic of them considering last night.
And true to point, 50% for Keyshawn Thomas. 3-2. Blue Devils up by 1 as the Generals move the ball up court. Here is Stevie Tatum. Tatum gets it across the line to Richardson. Richardson, he finds Cunningham. Back outside we go. Tatum for 3. No, off the side of the rim, and it falls down for Ralph Wires for a rebound. Wires gets it up to Loncourt. Over to Brown. Back out to Wires at the top of the key. He'll back up, and he'll head over to the left wing where he'll hand the ball off to Tyler Sprick. And now Loncourt back at midcourt gives to Thomas, and Thomas will start things over again. One dribble, picks it up, gives it to Loncourt. Loncourt, he's got pressure on his wing from Azarian Richardson, and that one missed the mark, and it stays 3-2. Here comes the Generals. Here is Cunningham. Cunningham, top of the key. Free throw line, has to get rid of it. Does so in the corner. 3-point shot on the way. That one tips off the far side of the rim, off the hands of Richardson. Wires collects the rebound. He brings it up for the Quincy Blue Devils, changes direction, and then gets hit from behind. No call. They get the ball into the hands of Camden Brown. Brown at the free throw line, takes a shot, good for 2.
Camden Brown, he's been offered by D2 Quincy University. He's had a good tournament as well here. He could be an X factor for Quincy in this game.
Here comes Richardson. Richardson still trapped in the backcourt. He's being watched by Brown. Zigzags his way over, and now...
Wow,
that
10
took
seconds.
Too long. Yeah, took too long. I knew it was getting close.
Decatur-MacArthur, this zone defense forces Decatur-MacArthur to have to shoot a little bit more. And just like last night, their 3-shot is not falling. They're going to have to get in the paint and force some shots up and maybe get some foul calls because the free throw line is where they really operated from.
Andy Douglas, the head coach of Quincy. Therese Bryson, the head coach for Decatur-MacArthur. Both pretty animated here on the sidelines. We'll have to keep an eye on Therese Bryson. He's a total entertainment package all his own. Here is Wires. Wires, left-hand dribble into the paint. Dumps it off for Thomas. Thomas back outside for Loncourt. Loncourt tries to enter at the free throw line. Underneath, reverse layup. Good for Wires.
That's one thing that Bradley Loncourt would only see. A great pass to Ralph Wires and the underhand layup for 2. Quincy, great start here in this championship game.
Up 7-2. Quincy, they have 5 titles here in this tournament. They're trying to match the 6 that Lincoln has. Lincoln has the most. And trying to win number 3 is the Decatur-MacArthur Generals. Are trying to win 2 in a row. Cunningham under the basket turns around, can't get it up high enough, and the rebound being fought for until it lands out of bounds, and it's going to belong to Quincy.
Decatur-MacArthur, that's an easy bucket right there, an easy layup for Chase Cunningham. He's got to finish that there. Got to be a little bit tougher. Quincy is, again, the best defensive team that MacArthur has faced. So it's going to be a bit of a challenge for them to break this Quincy zone.
4.5 minutes to go here in this opening quarter. 5-point lead belongs to Quincy. The Blue Devils with the ball. Here is Wires. Wires enters over on the left wing. Pulls a shot out from about 10 feet out and hits it.
Well,
Wires is on fire.
Wires is not supposed to do that for Quincy. That's a shot that Camden Brown or Bradley Loncourt should be shooting. And when he's doing that, Quincy's going to be in good shape.
Ball knocked out of bounds by Quincy. That'll force MacArthur to inbound once again at midcourt.
I have a feeling that MacArthur's going to be working from behind in a good portion of this championship game, but they've done that before and they'll do that again.
Here is Richardson. Richardson over the head, pass to Tatum. Tatum He is directing some traffic, trying to shout out some instructions, but I don't know if anybody on the floor can hear. It's kind of noisy in here. Turn around by Chris Walker, and that one rattles but won't fall in. And there is Brown with the rebound for Quincy. He blows by Richardson. Richardson then puts on the brakes, and Brown keeps the ball. Loncourt for a long three. Good!
You think that Quincy forgot about what happened last year? They're here to play. They are here. Decatur MacArthur need to wake up, and they need to wake up fast.
30-second timeout. We'll be back in just about that time on the K-Hawk Sports Network. Old Herald Brewery and Distillery in Collinsville produces their own spirits and beer on site right at the restaurant. Pair that with some of the most unique menu items around the entire metro area, and you can see why they are such a hit. They can handle you and your family, or they can handle you and your group. Throw in the occasional live entertainment, and you can see why Old Herald Brewery and Distillery is a must-stop destination in Collinsville. Old Herald Brewery and Distillery, 115 East Clay Street in Collinsville, 618-855-8027, or online at oldheraldbrewing.com. Back here at Virgil Fletcher Gymnasium, Todd Duke, Matt Clark on the call with you. 3:41 to go in the first quarter of this championship game, and right now it's been all Quincy. They're up by 10, 12-2.
Great start from Quincy. MacArthur really frustrated by this defense, and they've got to figure it out. It's always a problem. I played against this Quincy zone defense. It is such a hard task to figure it out.
There you go. Almost turned the ball over, and now another 10-second violation, second one here in the first 4.5 minutes.
Therese Bryson looked like he was about to pass the ball from the sideline when he picked it up. Boy, oh boy, MacArthur need a stop right here. Quincy's made everything fall so far. And remember, these MacArthur players that are playing right now, not a lot of them played significant minutes in the championship game. It's a whole new group, even though it's seniors and juniors.
Here is Wires over to Brown. Brown dribbles top of the key into the perimeter just a little bit, and he's going to need a little bit of help there. He's being watched by King Dees. King Dees, he was all over Brown. And Brown will get the ball back wide open for a three. That's a little short, and the rebound falls into the hands of Chase Cunningham. Cunningham, gets it up to Dees. Dees got a long core hand to the chin, but they didn't call it.
Yeah, after that 12-2 run, Therese Bryson puts in King Dees, who has puts in some King-type minutes on the bench. Off of the bench.
He has here in this tournament, that's for sure. Called his name a lot during this tournament. Here is Cunningham. We've also called his name a lot. Cunningham with the goggles. He dribbles. He comes into the perimeter, dumps it off right into the hands of Brown. Unfortunately for him, Brown plays for the other team. To Wires. Wires off the glass. Can't get it to fall. Wright gets the rebound. Gets it up to Tatum. Tatum comes up the far sideline. Enters from the right wing. Pulls up a shot of his own, and he hits it.
Well, they're going to need Stevie Tatum to hit some shots, and I'm specifically talking about three-pointers there. That's a good pull-up jumper. But the three-pointers have not been falling for Stevie Tatum in this tournament. They need more out of him in this championship game.
Here is Loncourt. He kicks it out to Wires. Wires over on the left wing. Throws it up into the left-hand corner for Brown. Brown back to Wires. He'll launch a three-point shot. That one's a little bit too strong. And the rebound belongs to Mackay Wright for the Generals. Cunningham gets it up quickly for Dees, but he overthrew it. Dees couldn't catch up with it, and it goes into the crowd for another Generals turnover.
Well, the MacArthur Generals haven't really had to worry about their turnover woes. They've had a couple of games where they've been in the double digits in turnovers in this tournament. And now you're talking about a Quincy team that can hold on to the ball and does a really good job of taking care of the basketball, and they can slow the game and speed the game up when they want to. MacArthur's turnovers are going to be proving more costly in this championship game.
Here is Wires. Wires enters, and he's at the front of the scorer's table. Needs a little bit of help. Got it from Brown. Brown was ran into by Dees, but keeps his feet, hands the ball off, and gets it right back over to Loncourt. Loncourt to Wires underneath, off the glass, good for two. Tyler Sprick.
There's been a couple of cross screens there that have given open layups to the Quincy Blue Devils. Andy Douglas has outcoached Therese Bryson so far.
10-point lead once again intact for Quincy. They get the ball to Wright. Across the court it goes to Dees. Into the corner for Tatum. Launches a three, and that one skips across the rim. And a foul will be handed out to Ralph Wires as he got his hand up into the face of Richardson.
Yep. And Ralph Wires, the coaching bench, was telling, why didn't he box out? That's a backside block out that Ralph Wires needs to be sure that they do, especially in a zone defense. You've got to make sure that you cover all areas when attempting to get the rebound, and he's going to come out of the game for it.
We will be here for a while. We're going to stay with you until the trophy presentations all the way through. The all-tournament team and the tournament MVP. So once this game ends, we'll keep it here for a while until all that is complete. Right now, 14-4, 91 seconds left here in this first quarter, which has belonged to Quincy. They're up by 10 at 14-4. And MacArthur looking to inbound. Inbound pass triggered, and they get it into Wright. Wright, baseline, no room, dumps it off. Richardson, and he throws a pass over on the far side, or make that the near side sideline, and he was trying to hit MJ Murphy, but Murphy lost his footing, and the ball went right past his hands.
And just so you know, and Reed O'Brien checking in, the Triad fans giving him a standing ovation. He's a Triad transfer. This is unexpected, Todd. We were not expecting this. We were expecting for Decatur MacArthur to have the strong start and have all the energy. But Quincy, the team with just a tad more experience, a team who went farther than anybody else last season, they won a sectional championship, showing their experience in this tournament championship.
There is Longcore. He brings the ball up with 80 seconds to go here in this first quarter that has belonged to Quincy. But we have a long way to go, so don't count the Generals out yet. Here is O'Brien over to Brown. Brown, near side sideline, left wing, deeper into the corner now, and a dribble drive out of there by Dom Clay. Clay gets the ball to Loncore. Loncore back at midcourt, drives forward. A whistle will stop that drive, and we have a foul coming up that's going to be against Azarian Richardson. His first, team second. Each team has 2 fouls on the board. 1 minute to go here in this opening quarter.
Very impressive. Only 4 points given up by the Quincy defense in this quarter, Todd. And that's definitely a record for MacArthur, not just for this tournament, but probably last year's tournament when they won the tournament championship as well. Stifling defense from Quincy.
A little confusion on the floor or what? Taking a while to get this inbound pass in here.
Not quite sure.
Sam Mulhern, he will come in, take the place of Keyshawn Thomas for Quincy. And the inbound pass being triggered by O'Brien, and he does so to Longcore. Longcore, and he'll try to dribble around Richardson. Richardson on his hip pocket the whole way, and he dumps it off into the corner. Here is Brown, baseline, big jumper from 12 feet, no good, and the rebound belongs to Wright. 45 seconds to go here in this opening quarter. Here comes MJ Murphy. And no, the MJ does not stand for Michael Jordan. We talked about that yesterday. Richardson gets the ball over to Sam Owens. Owens to Wright. Wright trying to get out of a triple team, does so with a pass back to Owens. Owens with a little floater. That's too short. Ball headed out of bounds, and it'll stay that way, and it'll belong to Quincy.
Quincy have done a great job of taking care of Makai Wright. When Keyshawn Thomas was in there, he was sticking to Makai Wright like glue. And Sam O'Haron has done the exact same thing. They're saying, we are not going to let you get the ball into the post for Makai Wright and set yourself up.
We're down to 15 seconds to go. Shot clock has been turned off. Here are the Quincy Blue Devils, and they'll bounce the ball up. Clay to Mulhern to O'Brien. O'Brien on the left wing. Longcore, top of the key, free throw line. Kicks it back out. A fake three-point and a bluff turns into 2 points for Dom Clay, and that happens right before the buzzer. 16-4 in favor of the Quincy Blue Devils. A timeout comes your way. We're back in just a moment on the K-Hawk Sports Network.
The Times-Tribune, Madison County's longest-running leading independent newspaper. The Times-Tribune covers Troy, Collinsville, Maryville, and all the villages and communities of Madison County. From area city halls to sports, including the Collinsville K-Hawks and Unit 10 District News. The Times-Tribune covers that and more. The Times-Tribune is a weekly hometown newspaper published every Thursday, and a one-year subscription is only $40 for the printed and online editions. For more information, call the Times-Tribune at 618-667-3111, online at timestribunenews.com, or follow them on Facebook at Times-Tribune. Looking to buy a new home or sell your current home? Trust the Blaylock Group of eXp Realty with all of your real estate needs. The real estate market is hot right now, and you can trust the years of experience the Blaylock Group brings to the table. The Blaylock Group can help you find your dream home, or they can help you get top dollar for your current home. Give Peyton or Emily Blaylock a call today at the Blaylock Group of eXp Realty, 618-780-4622. That's 618-780-4622. The Blaylock Group of eXp Realty.
O'Brien ready to inbound for the second quarter start as The Quincy Blue Devils have a 16-4 lead, 7 of 13 from the field for Quincy, 2 of 9 for MacArthur in that first quarter. 0 for 4 from MacArthur from beyond the three-point side. Rebounds are dead even at 7 apiece.
That quarter really couldn't have gone better for Quincy, and it's all because of their defense. Defense wins championships, as they always say.
I've heard that throughout the years of my life.
Yes, indeed. In any sport, really.
That is very true. 7:44 to go. We're just underway here in quarter number 2. A whistle will stop the action.
Got the jump ball here, as Reed O'Brien, I believe, was driving in, and that'll be MacArthur basketball.
So Quincy turns it over on a jump ball, and the inbound pass being triggered by Chase Cunningham. He finds Richardson. Richardson back to Cunningham. Cunningham up to the midcourt stripe for Tatum. Tatum, he crosses the timeline, gives it back, and a little give and go action, and that is more like the Quincy Blue Devils as Chris Walker gets his team a little bit closer to within 10 now, and another whistle will stop play as Longcore bites the dust, and we'll have a foul handed out. This one is going to go against
Longcore. It was a hooking foul. Yep. He hooked around with his hand. We saw that with Jordan Pickett a couple of times ago. It was better passing there from MacArthur in order to break the press. They're going to have to use their passing. It's been okay, been good in some spurts. They're going to have to pass really well through that press.
Ball comes into Wright. Wright drives to the basket, can't get the ball to go in, and the rebound, that belongs to Quincy, into the hands of Dom Clay. Clay sends it up to Longcore. Longcore cuts through the paint, reverse layup, can't get it to fall, and the rebound all the way out to the top of the key for O'Brien. He gives to Clay. Back to O'Brien, over to Brown, over to Longcore. Longcore drives the baseline, kicks it back out. Three-point shot for Clay. That's a little bit too hard, and the rebound belongs to Richardson, and then he's tackled.
Yep.
And that's going to be a foul against Mulheron.
Yep, Sam Mulheron. Just a little too aggressive there. He did help get the second chance points there, or the second chance opportunity there for Quincy, but it didn't go.
Inbound pass once again coming from Cunningham into Richardson. Richardson will start to push up floor. And a bounce pass into Walker, and a little shot underneath the basket. Good for 2. General starting to wake up here. 16-8 is our score. Quincy looking for their first points here in this second quarter, and we are about a minute and a half in. Here is a steal attempt by Brown, and that's out of bounds, and it is going to go to
the Decatur MacArthur Generals. All MacArthur needs is just one big play. They can rattle 8-10 points off like it's nothing and make it a whole completely different game. And Quincy's having trouble with MacArthur's press and turn it over on the last time with Bradley Longcore's hooking foul, and then right there couldn't get the ball inbounded cleanly.
Wires comes in for Brown for Quincy. Cunningham, he will trigger another inbound pass. This one coming underneath of his own basket, and he gets it in, and Tatum with a 3, good!
And suddenly they're making three-pointers now, and this is where MacArthur is at their best.
Went from a 12-point game down to a 5-point game, just like that. Here is Wires for Quincy. He has that left-hand dribble, brings it up to the top of the key, picks up the dribble, gives it to Longcore. Longcore pulls inside the perimeter, takes the shot, good for 2.
Busted coverage there. Can't give Longcore that easy of a jumper. So smooth, Bradley Longcore. You have to guard him 24/7 because he'll take any opportunity and make it into a couple of points.
Well, they had a double team on Wires, and that left Longcore wide open. Here comes Richardson. Richardson offset free throw line shot, no good. Rebound, that belongs to Clay. Dom Clay brings it up, zigzags into the paint, takes the shot, get that out of here, says Wright, bounces the ball right to Tatum. Tatum comes across in front of the scorer's table, into the corner for Richardson. Richardson being watched by O'Brien, bounces his way out of it, now he's double teamed, he gets out of it with a little bounce pass to Tatum, back over to Richardson, who finds Walker. Walker into the corner, Cunningham for 3, yes!
Well, we normally don't see Chase Cunningham shoot the 3 that well, but that 3 is getting the MacArthur Generals crowd going.
A 4-point game all of a sudden. They'll back it up to Wires. Will Quincy on the near sideline. Give it up to Longcore. Longcore back near midcourt. 5:15 to go here in this second quarter. Starkly different than the first quarter, that's for sure. Handoff goes to Dom Clay, and he is tripped up by Richardson, and Richardson will pick up the foul. They're going to give it to Tatum. King Dees will check back into the game.
Quincy has to understand that these runs and things are going to happen during this game. That's how MacArthur operates. That's how they operated against Belleville East. They have to just compose, stay in their own game. Don't worry about the score so much in this first half as much as just playing your own game. It's been working for Quincy in this first half.
Over to Clay, underneath for Loncourt. Loncourt turns around, takes a shot from about 10 feet out. That won't fall. And the rebound, that belongs to Cunningham. He got his glasses knocked loose for a minute. He had to straighten those out before he could even bring it up court. Here is King Dees with a three. That falls a little bit short, and the rebound is contested. On the floor, the foul is as both Mulherron and Wright run into each other. One of those two are going to get a foul.
It's going to be on Sam Mulherron, I think, and Mekhi Wright starting to get going now. Got the block on the other end, starting to find his way into a couple of rebounds, and Mulherron has 2 fouls. He's out of the game. Keyshawn Thomas checks back in.
4:47 left to play here in this first half. 18-14. 4-point game after a 12-point first quarter belonged to Quincy. Inbound pass once again being triggered by Cunningham. Cunningham gets it into Wright, just outside the lane. He'll give it up to King Dees. Dees drives, shoots, can't score. Rebound belongs to Thomas. He'll get it into the hands of Clay. Clay, he'll cross the timeline and shoot one over to Loncourt. Loncourt at the top of the key, turns around into the paint in front of the free throw line, drives and can't get it to fall. Off of the glass and to Tatum. Tatum splits the defense, comes baseline, dumps it off for Dees, but that ball misses, and then a picked off pass by Clay. He'll come in, number 14 against number 14, and unable to finish was either one of them. Loncourt got a rebound, tried to tip it back in, and it wouldn't fall for him either.
Mekhi Wright starting to make his presence feel known, had that block earlier and altered Dominique Clay's shot there.
Yeah. Went to the wrong side, guessed the wrong way. Here is Cunningham for another three. That one won't fall. O'Brien gets the rebound, hands it to Loncourt. Loncourt moves his way up across the timeline. We're halfway through quarter number 2. Here is Loncourt back out to the perimeter, gives it to Wires. Wires back out to the top of the key. He'll give it up to Clay, who gives it to O'Brien. A little dribble drive, and good for 3 for Ralph Wires.
More screen action, getting cuts inside the lane. MacArthur are just losing their man and giving Quincy easy baskets. That's the difference of the game. 3 easy layups for Quincy, and they're up 6.
Oh, there's a tip ball, and Loncourt gets ran into from behind. Stevie Tatum is going to end up picking up foul number 2.
But that's Quincy playing their game. They're not worried about what's happening with MacArthur. Obviously, MacArthur missed the 3 right there. But Quincy said, okay, we're going to run our offensive set, and we're going to play, and we're going to bank on Decatur MacArthur making a couple of mistakes, which they're going to do in this game.
4 fouls for the Generals now, 5 up on the board for the Blue Devils, 3:28 to play here in this first half. Into the backcourt it goes for Wires. Wires sends it up to Loncourt. Loncourt to Brown. Brown to Loncourt. Bradley pulls up just outside the lane, gives it to Brown. 3-pointer top of the key, no good. Rebound, knocked out of bounds.
Still a good possession there by Quincy. And they enjoy those possessions. They're enjoying themselves here, Quincy. Even if Decatur MacArthur have a couple of games, even if Mekhi Wright is going to have a couple of blocks and get himself into this basketball game, Quincy are so experienced and know what it is like to play in these big games. They're not worried about any of Decatur MacArthur's animations or, theatrics.
Inbound pass comes in from Cunningham to Richardson. Richardson gives it back to Cunningham. Cunningham back to Richardson across the line. Richardson out deep, picks up his dribble, and throws it onto the wing for King Dees, deep on that left wing. Back out front for Richardson. Richardson, he'll go over and hang out with Dees and then throw it back over his shoulder to Walker. Walker back to Richardson for 3. Good! 3-point game, 20-17. Blue Devils with the lead. 2:40 to go here in this first half. Here comes Loncourt. Loncourt at the K-Hawk logo at midcourt. He's double teamed, and we're going to have a back and forth. He took it into the backcourt, but he kind of ran into one of the players, I believe, Cunningham, bounced off of Cunningham, caused him to cross the line.
Yep. Camden Brown's got to set a better screen there because Decatur MacArthur said we're going to double up. We're not going to allow Bradley Loncourt to use the screens to his advantage, which is what he's been doing a lot in this tournament.
King Dees with the ball into the corner, 3-point shot. That's going to be off. I kind of figured it was.
That was such a bad shot that it just fell right into a MacArthur General's hands. They're getting all the balls now.
1-point game all of a sudden after a 12-point lead by Quincy. Here is Loncourt. Loncourt, he's in a foot race with King Dees. Throws it up for Brown. Brown throws it across the way. 3-point shot for Clay, no good. Rebound. That's in Brown's hands. He'll kick it back out to O'Brien for 3. That one's no good. All of a sudden, Quincy can't buy a three-point shot. Here comes Richardson after the rebound for the Generals. He takes it off the glass, can't get it to go. Oh!
So
I thought he didn't reestablish himself.
He did not reestablish himself. You're exactly right about that, Todd. Got to grab that rebound there if you're Quincy, and Dominique Clay's going to go off the bench. Man, Quincy need a couple of players to hit some three-point shots there, especially if they're going to take them like that.
I'm surprised Andy Douglas hasn't called a timeout after losing a 12-point lead like that. Here is another three-point shot. That one is an air ball, and the ball falls down but finds Walker at the free throw line. Walker shoots and scores.
That's because Keyshawn Thomas does not box out Mekhi Wright. And a 30-second timeout. There's the timeout you talked about for Andy Douglas.
Yeah, well, that comes after the Generals take their first lead of this game, 21-20. We are back in just 30 seconds here on the K-Hawk Sports Network.
Of Illinois welcome you. The folks in Collinsville, Illinois, well, they want you to stick around for a while and enjoy the sights, the fun, the food, and, of course, the Collinsville K-Hawks. The city of Collinsville is a proud supporter of the Collinsville Unit 10 School District. So welcome to Collinsville. Come on over, catch a K-Hawks game, or enjoy some of the new places to eat, shop, and have fun. There's plenty to do for the young and the young at heart. Enjoy Christmas at the Collins House during the holidays, tunes that bloom in the warm summer months, and more. There's plenty to do in Collinsville, so come on over for a bit. The folks in Collinsville would love to see you. For more information, go to www.collinsville.org.
21-20. It was 16-4 after one quarter of play, a 12-point lead for Quincy. Since then, Quincy has only scored 5 points. Here comes Brown. Brown's trying to make it a little bit more, but he is fouled in the process. Mekhi Wright, he is going to pick up foul number 2.
That is a big call. Looks like the referee is saying that Mekhi Wright hit him in the head. Credit to Quincy for breaking the MacArthur press there. That's why they had the fast break. And now Mekhi Wright needs to be extremely, and I mean extremely careful not to pick up that third foul for MacArthur. The good news is that the Generals are shooting the ball better, and that's helping them. They haven't needed Mekhi Wright as much in this second quarter comeback.
And talk about hitting some free throws. That's exactly what Camden Brown needed to do, and he misses the first one as Brown came into this game having hit 4 of 7 from the charity stripe.
And MacArthur fans are going to be making noise on every single free throw here on the near side behind the MacArthur bench.
There is one for Brown. That's the first point they've had in a while. 21-21, 1:40 to go here in this first half of this championship game. Here comes MacArthur. They have it to Cunningham, over to King Dees, who gets it to Richardson. Kicked it outside for Walker. Pull away, jumper, no good. And the rebound belongs to Thomas, and the Blue Devils bring it up. Here is Wires. Wires going underneath the basket and trying to save it. He does so all the way back out front for Thomas. Thomas gets it into the hands now. Well, it finds the hands of Loncourt after it was put there by Sprick. Sprick gets the ball back right in front of the scorer's table. Into the corner now in front of the opposing bench for Wires. Kicks it over to Thomas. Thomas just inside the left wing and over to Wires. He gets out of a little jam with a spin move. Kicks it back outside for Sprick. Sprick shot good.
That's a great shot from Tyler Sprick. Normally he's just a spot-up 3 shooter, but again, another Quincy player off the bench making a huge contribution. Sprick actually starts, but he doesn't score that much.
He came off the bench to get those points, though, that's for sure. Here's a loose ball, but it's picked up by Richardson. Richardson back at midcourt. Gives it up now for Cunningham. Cunningham over on the left wing. We're down to 35 seconds to go here in this first half. Here is Richardson. Richardson backs up all the way towards the opponent's bench and brings it back the other way. Bounces it into the left-hand side. 3-point shot. Richardson on the way. Good!
Suddenly, Azarian Richardson has turned into Steph Curry in this second quarter. A couple of big threes for Decatur MacArthur, and that gives them the lead here. How will Quincy respond before halftime?
There's Loncourt into the perimeter, kicks it back out. Brown for 3. That one skips across the rim. Thomas has the rebound, puts it up, and it goes in.
He deserves it. That was a great rebound from Keyshawn Thomas. A bit of a lucky roll in there for Thomas, but that's because Mekhi Wright is on the bench with 2 fouls. Big offensive rebound. What a first half.
Sure was.
Oh, my goodness.
That ball snaked its way in right before the buzzer sounded. 25-24 after one half of play, and if it's any indication of what the second half might look like, we're in for a lot of fun. We're back in just a moment with a look at the first half stats on the K-Hawk Sports Network.
Just because we're adults doesn't mean we don't have toys, am I right? If your adult toys consist of boats, campers, or RVs, then you need to call the GASA storage team of professionals. Winter weather in the Midwest can be quite harsh, and finding a place to properly store those expensive toys for winter can be just as rough as a Midwest winter. That's where the GASA storage team comes in, with outdoor self-storage and covered storage for your toys. They even have tractor-trailer parking, conveniently located at Horseshoe Lake Road and 111 in Pontoon Beach. GASA Storage, for the safe storage of all of your toys. Contact the GASA Storage team, gasastorage@gmail.com, or call today, GASA Storage Team, 618-797-6100. Old Herald Brewery and Distillery in Collinsville produces their own spirits and beer on site, right at the restaurant. Pair that with some of the most unique menu items around the entire metro area, and you can see why they are such a hit. They can handle you and your family, or they can handle you and your group. Throw in the occasional live entertainment, and you can see why Old Herald Brewery and Distillery is a must-stop destination in Collinsville. Old Herald Brewery and Distillery, 115 East Clay Street in Collinsville, 618-855-8027, or online at oldheraldbrewing.com.
Chapman Trucking, LLC. Chapman Trucking is a local Collinsville business owned and operated by 1994 Collinsville graduate Christy Chapman. With over 10 years of experience, Chapman Trucking, LLC can take care of all of the heavy lifting when it comes to hauling aggregate materials such as sand, driveway rock, dirt, boulders, and more. That includes getting your heavy work equipment to your work site where it needs to be. Give Christy a call for a free estimate at Chapman Trucking, LLC, 618-960-9346, or online at chapmantruckingllc.net.
I couldn't ask for a better agent, for a better company in a disaster where you have no idea where to start.
I learned that there's not a given in life. It takes a team. There's people that are going to watch out for us and that care.
It's been pretty stressful. Once we saw Lori and got our plan, it's
like a huge weight lifted.
In Collinsville, call Scott Allen at 618-346-1500. Calling all sports fans. Looking for a great place to watch the game with your crew? Look no further than the Lucky Fox Sports Bar in Caseyville. The Lucky Fox shows Collinsville K-Hawk sports on the big screen, plus UFC fights, boxing, Cardinals and Blues, and all of the NFL games with the NFL ticket and enough TVs that you'll be sure to find the game you want. And the food? How about Taco Tuesdays, Wing Wednesdays, plus burgers, sandwiches, pizza, steak, and more, including great drink specials and the coldest brew in town. And don't forget to try your luck at the Lucky Fox Gaming Room. Dine in and catch a game, or order carryout with the Lucky Fox. The Lucky Fox Sports Bar, 1101 Caseyville Road, right across the street from K-Hawk Stadium. Open daily at 11 a.m. Check out the Lucky Fox Facebook page for daily specials. The Lucky Fox, 618-855-9500.
Hi, Purple and White fans. This is Dan Mode, class of 1989. I'm with New American Funding. Myself and New American Funding are proud sponsors of K-Hawk Athletics. As we have great coaches at CHS on all the courts, fields, and tracks, we like to coach you through the home buying process and refinance process. If there's ever anything we can do, I can be reached at 618-973-5343 or www.danmodeloans.com. Let's support our student athletes at CHS. They deserve the best. Thank you for your time, and go K-Hawks.
Do you have a big land improvement project that requires some outside help? Call Petroff Trucking Company. The Petroff Companies have been shaping the metro area since 1975. Family owned and operated, Petroff Trucking Company can do the job and do it right. Hauling, excavating, and grading, they do that and more. Petroff Companies also has roll-off dumpster rentals. They also specialize in dirt and rock sales. Petroff Trucking Company can help you develop your land for your needs. Petroff Trucking Company. Check out their website, petrofftrucking.com, or give them a call, 797-6100. Petroff Trunking Company, shaping the metro area since 1975.
Plumbing or electrical problems? Is your AC or heater on the fritz? There are dozens of companies out there, but do you really know who you're letting in your home? Trust Tiger. Our technicians are clean-cut, drug-free, and background checked. What other company can make this bold statement? Our 24-hour emergency service will ensure your plumbing, heating, AC, and electric are up and running no matter what time of day it is. Schedule your appointment today. Tiger Plumbing, Heating, Air Conditioning, and Electrical Services. We earn our stripes every day.
Once again, we welcome you back to Virgil Fletcher Gymnasium. Halftime, very good game, 25-24. Blue Devils of Quincy have a 1-point lead over the Generals of Decatur-MacArthur High School. Here's a look at your first half stats. Leading scorer in this one is the 8 points that belongs to Chris Walker from Decatur-MacArthur. After that, 6 points for Azarion Richardson, 5 points apiece for Stevie Tatum and Chase Cunningham. On the other side, for Quincy, they are being led in points by Keyshawn Thomas and his 4 points. Everything else is spread out well after that. 2 points apiece for Ralph Wires, Camden Brown, Dom Clay, and then 1 point each for Sam Mulheron, Reed O'Brien, Bradley Longcore, and Tyler Sprick. The rest of the numbers look like this from the three-point line. Quincy is 1 of 8, while MacArthur is 4 of 12. From the free throw line, Quincy has hit 2 of 4. Decatur-MacArthur, they only had Makai Wright go up to the free throw line for 2, and he missed both of them. Rebounds are almost even. MacArthur has 18, Quincy has 16, and the Generals have turned the ball over 7 times compared to Quincy's 4 times. Right now, MacArthur is shooting 38.5% from the field, while Quincy is shooting 39.3%. One of the standout numbers, and doesn't really stand out all that much, but points off of turnovers. MacArthur has scored 7 points off of Quincy turnovers, while Quincy has managed 4 points off of Decatur-MacArthur turnovers. Here's the big key, though. Quincy had a 16-4 lead after 1 quarter of play, and then the Generals outscored Quincy in that second quarter 20-9, and that is why we have such a close game at 25-4. There is a look at your first half stats, second half action. That'll be coming your way next on the K-Hawk Sports Network.
Pack Mail of Collinsville, locally owned and operated by Ryan Combs. Pack Mail can ship anything, anywhere. They treat you like a neighbor because, well, you are a neighbor. Pack Mail offers shipping materials and containers, private mailboxes, as well as climate-controlled self-storage. Visit Pack Mail at 407 Beltline Road in Collinsville. Online, WeShipSt.Louis.com or call Pack Mail at 346-4884. The Collinsville Education Association is a proud supporter of KHawkSports.com and the K-Hawk Sports Network. The CEA is your partner as they work to ensure quality education for our children. The CEA advocates excellence and equity in public education and represent over 400 educators in 11 schools in both Madison and St. Clair counties. For more information, you can visit the Collinsville Education Association's Facebook page or the CEA's website at collinsvillecea.org.
My name is Rayshawn Taylor, collegiate basketball player at SIUE. At the end of January, I had an ACL injury. I've been searching for ways to come back as best as I can after the construction. Dr. Chris introduced me to the Sofwave machine. I'm gonna be honest, at first I was kind of scared because I didn't want it to shock me and hurt me too bad. And I had heard something about it and I did my research on it, and it turns out it didn't actually hurt. It just was a good pain. It just finding where it hurts to promote the healing, and that's exactly what it did. I've actually had this surgery before. This time I feel like I'm back on my feet quicker, much faster. I'm much stronger than I was up to this point last time. And honestly, I feel like I could play right now. I'm excited to get back on the court. Thankful that Dr. Chris introduced me to this.
The Junior Service Club of Collinsville has been a proud supporter of KHawkSports.com and the K-Hawk Sports Network from day one. Since 1934, the Junior Service Club of Collinsville has been providing women in the community an opportunity to make a difference with fundraisers and projects, all that go towards helping the needy in Collinsville. If you would like any information on any event sponsored by the Collinsville Junior Service Club, head to Facebook, type in Collinsville Junior Service Club, and then click on the Event tab. We thank the Collinsville Junior Service Club for their continued support of the K-Hawk Sports Network and khawksports.com.
Todd Duke and Matt Clark back with you from Virgil Fletcher Gymnasium as we are ready for the second half of a one-point game. Blue Devils up 25-24, and we should be in for a whale of a second half.
Oh, man, it's going to be a great deal. Let me go ahead and turn my microphone on there. My apologies. Should be a great second half, and it's indicative of kind of what this entire third day has been. Great games, good opponents, and people really playing well against each other. Nice matchups, and there's a reason why only one team in this tournament could go 4-0. You have to be able to win close games, and both of these teams have been battle tested over the first opening couple of rounds, and now they're ready to try to take it home here. Should be an awesome second half.
Quincy had a 12-point lead at the end of one quarter of play. Now it's a 1-point lead. Here come the Blue Devils. They have the ball first, and here is Brown. Brown gets it over to Loncourt. Loncourt back over to Brown. We're underway here in the third quarter. Wires from the near sideline out to the top for Loncourt, who gets the ball over into the hands of Sprick. Back to Loncourt. I can't believe they've held Loncourt to 1 point in this game. There's a big three-pointer there by Sprick.
Man, Tyler Sprick, he shoots a lot of those. I know he practices really hard on that shot. He's been waiting for his opportunity on this Quincy team, and he's finally getting it in this tournament.
There is a ball that, I was going to say double dribble because he couldn't handle it, could Chris Walker. He lost the ball on his feet, tried to get it back, and then double dribbled in the process.
And I also want to offer a correction. Bradley Loncourt has 5 points, just the one foul though. But the more impressive thing, Makai Wright, 0 points. He's got a goose egg in this game. That is excellent defense from the Quincy Blue Devils.
I don't know what number I was looking at then. A foul called on the play. We're going to head back the other way.
Might have been looking at the fouls, the personal fouls. The lines get really weird sometimes on our stat sheets. It's been 32 games we've done, or
I know.
At least 16 from Virgil Fletcher Gymnasium. We're allowed to make a mistake here or there.
I make mistakes all the time, brother, all the time.
And both of these teams are making mistakes today with ball handling and turning the ball over, so we're just in the spirit of that today.
Sure we are. 28-24, 4-point lead for the Blue Devils. With the ball, here is Makai Wright. He can't get his first points that way. That hits the bottom of the backboard. I believe that he stepped out of bounds when he hit the bottom of the backboard because he wasn't expecting it to come back down in his hand.
From looking at the view of our camera that our audience is looking at, that's correct.
Yeah, it's a 10-second delay, so if we ever want to look, all we got to do is look on my phone that has the game on it, and it's 10 seconds behind. Same thing in the hospitality room behind us. I go in there, and they're like, man, when we hear the cheering from the floor, we get to look up and get to see what happened.
Bradley Loncourt was getting trapped there. He had 2 turnovers in the first half. Quincy can't afford for very many turnovers. They've done a good job holding the ball, and Andy Douglas calls timeout.
A very quick timeout, 30 seconds to be exact, and we'll be back in just about that time here on the K-Hawk Sports Network. One of the 2 Prairie Farm commercials that we have here during this game. A big thank you to Prairie Farms for sponsoring this event once again. It's a lot of fun.
Always been a fantastic sponsor here. One of my favorite parts about the Prairie Farms Holiday Classic is when our chocolate milk, and our athletic director Clay Smith will get a bucket and throw it to people, and that's always a fun experience to have. And again, a great sponsor for this tournament, a Midwestern sponsor, and they've been great over the last 4, 5, 6 years that they've sponsor this tournament.
We've just been into a minute of this third quarter, and a timeout has already been used. Quincy with the ball and the 4-point lead. Here is Thomas. Thomas kicks it out to Wires into the corner. Loncourt for 3. No good. Rolls right around the rim. And Cunningham, he makes sure he secures that rebound. He'll bring it up, being watched closely by Brown. A one-arm shovel pass over to Tatum. Tatum trying the old alley-oop, but Wright had to wait for it. But there is Wright's first points of this game, and it comes after 90 seconds have expired here in this third quarter.
Well, the height difference finally got to Quincy in the matchup zone. Sometimes Keyshawn Thomas isn't guarding Mackay right, and that was an example right there. Good find for MacArthur.
2-point game and a throwaway by Quincy, and the MacArthur Generals will have a chance to tie it or take the lead.
Now, this is where Quincy absolutely desperately need to stop. You do not want the train for MacArthur to start finding its wheels and going along the tracks. I mean, again, one little play, Mackay Wright gets a layup, and then a poor turnover from Quincy. They can rev it up now if MacArthur want to. Quincy need to stop.
We had a lead change 4 times in the first half. Well, we have our first one here in the second half. Stevie Tatum in the corner. I tell you what,
I think the play was wrong, and he did not like it.
No, he did not, but Wright turns it into 2 points, and we're tied.
That'll make him happy for at least 5 seconds, and then he'll be about something again.
Looked like he was in a fit of rage over there, man. He was all animated. Love it. Here is Brown in the corner. Brings it out of the corner and gets it to Sprick. Sprick gets it to Loncourt. Loncourt in the paint, takes the shot, can't get it to go. The ball falls into the hands of Wright, and he'll give it to Cunningham, who fires a pass over for Richardson.
Huge three here.
Here is Tatum for 3, and he overshoots it. Rebound belongs to Wires. Wires throws the ball up quickly to Brown. Brown has the ball ripped out of his hands, and it is going to be a foul against Richardson.
Yeah, Quincy picks and chooses the spots where they run on the fast break, but Decatur MacArthur have done a great job of running from baseline here right near us to the baseline all the way over there. They always run the 94 feet of the basketball court, and that's what makes them such a hard team to beat.
28-28 is our score. Here is Brown at the free throw line. Turnaround jump shot, a little bit short, and Wright trying to go for the rebound. Misses it, but it falls into the hands of Walker. Here is Tatum. He springs Richardson for 3. Yes!
How about a Zorion Richardson in the championship game who hasn't had much of a three-point stroke all tournament, putting in some big buckets for MacArthur.
There is Loncourt. Loncourt brings it up. His team now trails by 3. Alley-oop doesn't work.
You got to have the layup there. Alley-oops don't work in championship games.
No, they do not. Here is Richardson for another 3. That one's a little bit too short. Skips across the rim. Loncourt there with the rebound, and he'll bring it up across the timeline. King Dees waits to check into this game at the next opportunity. He's made my all-tournament team as far as names are concerned, that's for sure.
Yep. Might have to do that at the end of the tournament, have some names that we put on the all-tournament team.
Linwood, that's another one of my favorites. And I'll go with King D's, though, every day. Here is Thomas. Thomas will pop one from just outside of the free throw line. No good. Richardson had the rebound for a moment. And then a nice save by Wires to Sprick for 3. And it falls a little bit too long off the back part of the iron. Loncourt after the rebound by Thomas. Back to Wires for 3. Yes!
No better person to make that 3 from Ralph than Ralph Wires. What a feisty play right there to get the basketball and keep the Quincy possession alive. Tie game.
Wires and Clay were over here shooting 3s while they were warming up for the second half, and they were draining some from over here. Here's Tatum for an answer. No good. Hits the inside of the rim. Thomas, he collects the rebound. Gives it to Loncourt. Loncourt, he brings it up across the timeline. Slows things down a bit. We're tied 31-31. 3:40 to go here in this third quarter. Here is Thomas. Thomas hands the ball back to Loncourt. Loncourt from the left wing. Back to Thomas. Underneath the basket. Didn't get enough on it. Turns around. Takes another shot. No good. Wright gets the rebound this time for the Generals. Here comes Cunningham. Cunningham brings it across the timeline and moves over toward the top of the key. 3:20 left to play here in quarter number 3 of a tied game. 31-31 in this championship of this 38th annual Prairie Farms Holiday Classic Tournament. Tatum bounces it back over to Cunningham. Cunningham over into the corner for Richardson. Richardson hit a big 3 from over there for a minute ago. Here is Walker with a little jumper outside the lane, and Walker breaks the tie. It's now 33-31, 3 minutes to go here in quarter number 3. Here is Ralph Wires. Wires bounces it across the line to Loncourt. Loncourt at the top of the key. He's double teamed, now triple teamed. Gets rid of it to Brown, to Wires. Wires, free throw line, jump, no good. Thomas, put back, no good. Wright gets the rebound after that for the Generals.
Oh, man, Keyshawn Thomas has spilled a couple of huge bunnies for Decatur MacArthur here in this third quarter.
There's a jump shot in the paint, no good, and a whistle will stop the action with 2.5 to go in the third.
Decatur MacArthur starting to make the most of their opportunities. Right there, Keyshawn Thomas has got to score at least one of those 2 baskets inside. It's not like he's being contested very heavily. He's just missing them short. He missed the jumper over there just a minute ago.
Chris Walker at the free throw line, his first trip to the free throw line here in this contest, and he will miss the first one. Walker came in having hit 2 of 2 earlier in this tournament.
Well, this will make that a little more interesting because, you know, Chris Walker, who has made some huge free throws for Decatur MacArthur in the past, especially in their regional championship win last season, misses the first one. If Decatur MacArthur can't make their free throws like they did last night, that'll keep Quincy in this game regardless.
Walker hits the second one, and that blossoms the lead out to 3 for the Generals. And a picked off ball, and there you go. Richardson, he can hit a 3, he can rip off passes, he can put one in from low down, and he did just that. It's a 5-point contest now with the Generals in the lead. 60-second timeout. We'll be back here in just a moment on the K-Hawk Sports Network.
Just because we're adults doesn't mean we don't have toys, am I right? If your adult toys consist of boats, campers, or RVs, then you need to call the GASA storage team of professionals. Winter weather in the Midwest can be quite harsh, and finding a place to properly store those expensive toys for winter can be just as rough as a Midwest winter. That's where the GASA storage team comes in, with outdoor self-storage and covered storage for your toys. They even have tractor-trailer parking, conveniently located at Horseshoe Lake Road and 111 in Pontoon Beach. GASA Storage, for the safe storage of all of your toys. Contact the GASA Storage Team, gasastorage@gmail.com, or call today, GASA Storage Team, 618-797-6100.
.221 left to play here in this third quarter. 36-31 in favor of the MacArthur Generals. And Quincy and MacArthur involved in a classic championship game here thus far.
Yep, absolutely. That's why it's called the Holiday Classic. But I think what's so interesting about this championship game so far is that we're learning, you and I, Todd, that the star players aren't having as big of an effect in this game because there's been 4 games. Teams know who they need to key on defensively. And so it's going to take the second, the third options for either team to really make a difference.
Here is Wires, coast to coast, and it falls in.
Ralph Wires always makes sure he finishes at the rim. Even though he's 5'9", and Mackay Wright's like 6'7", he still finds a way to get it in there.
There is Richardson. He'll bounce it to King Dees. Dees gets bumped from behind by Thomas, and he'll throw up a shot, and that one won't work, but we'll have a whistle. And we'll see who this one's against.
Yeah. Just like Ralph Wires hit that layup, it's been Azarian Richardson tonight for Decatur MacArthur. Not Chase Cunningham, who had a big game against Belleville East. Not Mackay Wright, who has had big games all the way throughout this tournament. But Azarian Richardson hitting the threes, playing good defense against Bradley Longcore. I mean, basketball's not even his main sport. Football is. He's going to go to Milliken to play football as a wide receiver. But he knows the stakes. He knows the big moments. And that's what great athletes do. They rise to the big occasion, no matter what sport they're playing.
Camden Brown picks up his second foul. It's his team's third. The Generals have not fouled yet in this second half. And a 2-pointer by Cunningham has given his team a 5-point lead. Here is Wires. And he kicks it outside. Loncourt for 3. No good. Loncourt's shot is off tonight. Here is Wright. He gets the rebound. He springs Richardson. Richardson comes up the far sideline in front of the scorer's table. And he picks up his dribble on the wing. Cunningham for 3. No good. Rebound. That belongs to Walker. Walker shot. Can't put it back up either. Finally, Cunningham does on the second rebound. And another timeout called. Boy, I tell you what, the Generals, they are pumped up. Quincy, they're walking back to their bench not knowing what's going on, but they'll try to figure it out when we come back from a commercial here on the K-Hawk Sports Network.
Looking for a little bite to eat in a nice, friendly establishment before heading out to a game? Look no further than LC's Pub in Caseyville. Just blocks from Collinsville High School, LC's Pub is the pub of choice for K-Hawk fans, before, after, or even during K-Hawk games. LC's Pub features a wide variety of traditional bar food like burgers and fries, chicken wings and chicken strips, appetizers like pepper jack mac and cheese bites, fried pickles, and green beans. Plus they have salads, fish, shrimp, and more. LC's Pub also features an outdoor patio, a gaming room, weekly poker tournaments, and a pool table, plus enough TVs for all the sports fans. And LC's Pub shows K-Hawk games live as well as Blues and Cardinals games. LC's Pub, 605 North Main Street in Caseyville, right across the intersection from All Pro Tees. Call for carry-out orders at 618-855-9007 and on Facebook at LC's Pub. LC's Pub, K-Hawk fans' pub of choice.
Back here at Virgil Fletcher Gymnasium, Todd Duke and Matt Clark with you for the championship game of this 38th Prairie Farms Holiday Classic. 40-33, 7-point lead for MacArthur. And the Generals trying to defend now as Quincy comes up court. Here is Loncourt. He'll take it around and give it up, and it'll be
Cameron Wires now, Ralph Wires' brother.
Yep.
In the game for the first time.
Here is Loncourt. Loncourt bounces the ball over to O'Brien, who's back into the game for the first time in a while. They'll get it over to Brown, who gets it back to O'Brien. Brown, he was in the paint for a moment, had to come out. Gets it up to Wires. Wires, he'll dribble, he'll drive, he'll kick it back out, and off the glass. Won't fall for Mulherron, and the rebound belongs to the Generals. They try to throw it up for King Dees. Wow, what a save that was, and what an answer by Richardson at the free throw line after King Dees saved that bacon.
Yep, that's like almost a football play right there. The one-handed pass and save, amazing from Decatur MacArthur. That's what champions do, and Quincy is really frustrated out right now. I saw in that timeout from Andy Douglas, Ralph Wires and head coach Andy Douglas were having words. They are all really frustrated on the bench right now. They've got to find a way to get some positive energy going.
And with 20 seconds left, that might just do it. Mulherron gets a basket. First one in a while here for Quincy.
They've had a couple of those right at the rim. They've got to finish those at the rim. This could be a tie game right now, but Quincy have missed some bunnies down the stretch.
Another 7-point contest, 7 seconds left in this third quarter. Here is a drive by Cunningham, dumps it off to right, and he puts up a shot, but he's fouled in the process and will go to the line for two.
Almost made that when he was like bending his knees, almost like squatting in a sense. And he almost made that, but it looks like it's going to stay on the floor. 1.6 seconds left. Quincy have got to guard the three-point line here. You cannot afford to have a big three-pointer to take it up to double digits here if you're Quincy.
7-point contest right now. Inbound pass being triggered by Cunningham. And Cunningham surveys, gives to Richardson for three. That's going to fall a little short. And that is the way that the third quarter comes to a close. Fourth quarter action, that comes your way next on the K-Hawk Sports Network.
Lakeside Roofing in Collinsville. Let the professionals at Lakeside Roofing protect your most important investment, your home or business. Have the elements taken a toll on your roof system? Notice a leaking roof? Maybe it's time for a free roof inspection. Regular maintenance can extend the life of your roofing system by 10 years or more. Lakeside Roofing is your winning team for commercial and residential roofing systems. Lakeside's all-star professionals have installed, repaired, and maintained hundreds of roofs on both sides of the river. Call Lakeside Roofing today at 618-344-2800 or 314-241-5253 or online at lakesideroofing.com. Lakeside Roofing, celebrating 50 years of serving the metro area. Choose experience, choose Lakeside.
Once again, we welcome you back here to Fletcher Gymnasium at Collinsville High School. We have reached the final quarter of the final game. Maybe,
but listen, I think the Quincy Blue Devils thought that they had maybe won this game in the first quarter, and this is a four-quarter game. MacArthur have dominated now 2 consecutive quarters. Quincy are going to have to play from behind just like MacArthur did in last year's championship game when they made the comeback against O'Fallon.
MacArthur outscoring Quincy in that quarter 18-10. Here is Dees with a three. That skips across the rim, and the ball ends up in Wright's hands. He throws it all the way back out, and coming up with it is Richardson. We're underway here in the fourth quarter. Championship on the line. Here is King Dees. Gets it into Walker. Walker, turnaround shot, rolls across the rim, won't go in, and fought for the rebound, and they're still fighting for the rebound. I was sure we were going to hear a whistle at some point during that struggle, but no, that didn't happen. And here is Loncourt. He brings it up for Quincy, gets it to Wires. Wires out at midcourt. He'll take it from one side to the other. Mulherron. He'll give it up to Loncourt. Loncourt travels to the top of the key, gives it up for Brown. Brown launches a three. Yes! Boy, did Quincy need that.
Huge three there, and MacArthur's missed a couple of their last threes. It could just be, just like you talked about with who makes more free throws, it might just be the team that makes more threes.
In this particular case, yes. 38-42. Generals have not committed a foul yet in this second half. Here comes Richardson. He drives, he shoots, and he cannot get it to fall. And the rebound, that's put back by Walker, though. And it goes from a 4-point game to a 6-point game.
They are really struggling, Quincy, inside. I would consider bringing Keyshawn Thomas back into the game as soon as possible if I'm Andy Douglas. They're getting all their points at the rim.
Here is Loncourt. He'll hand it off to O'Brien. O'Brien fires a pass over to Brown. Brown to Wires. Wires on the right wing and back to Brown. Brown travels all the way over to the left side and then fires a pass back over to Wires. Wires, he will dribble. He will drive. Comes in on that left side. No room to move. Gives it up for Mulherron. Mulherron to Loncourt. Loncourt in the perimeter at the free throw line.
Gonna have to put up a shot here.
And he gets one off. Hits the rim, but no good. Wright pulls down the rebound. Gives it to King Dees. All the way up to Cunningham. Dumps it off for Richardson. Little floater won't go. Rebound belongs to Quincy. They move it up quick. Here is Loncourt. Loncourt goes to the basket. Good for two.
Loncourt needs to heat up right now, especially with the lack of Quincy scoring on the floor right now. Bradley Loncourt, being a sophomore in this tournament, is going to have to put in a huge performance here in these final 5.5 minutes.
44-40. 4-point lead for the defending champion MacArthur Generals. They almost threw that one away. Goes out of bounds, and it's going to belong to the Generals.
And it just seems like Decatur MacArthur is somehow holding on to possessions. They're not taking care of the ball especially well right now, but they're holding on to possessions somehow. And Quincy have got to have some of those. They need to force those turnovers. They're right there. They just got to grab the ball. They just got to want it more right now. This is the championship game. You got to want this ball. You got to want every single possession.
Here is Cunningham triggering the inbound, does so to Dees, puts up a shot, no good, and the rebound falls down into the hands of Thomas, and he gets it up to Wires. Wires across the line, and that is Brown from Clay, and Brown back to Clay. Clay brings it over to Loncourt. Clay and Thomas entered the game during that last timeout, and now we're going to get a charging foul to Thomas. He lowered that shoulder and plowed in.
Well, when you have championship games, you have to be smart. There hasn't been an offensive foul all game since that Bradley Loncourt hook. Decatur MacArthur, I'm pretty sure that was Chase Cunningham, knew that he was undermatched in size, and so he takes the charge on Keyshawn Thomas right there.
44-40, 5:10 left to go here in this fourth quarter. Inbound pass comes in from Cunningham. He'll get it right back from Richardson. Cunningham across the line.
Oh, what a horrible pass.
He was looking
for a horrible pass.
Wright was coming up the near sideline, but Wright wasn't even looking for a pass.
That's a lack of focus right there. A good focus opportunity. They focused well when they had the charge take right there, but Mekhi Wright not focusing in the championship game? How could you not be looking at the ball there? Oh, goodness me.
No, Brown inbounds to Wires, he brings it up and shoots one over
Look
to
at
Thomas.
He made it up. He made up the play.
That is picked off by Wright, and the ball ends up going out of bounds, and I guess Thomas didn't hear the whistle. He kept going.
I think he was just, doing that in frustration, if I'm being honest with you, Todd. And I think Therese Bryce is going to take a timeout here. He sees things teetering in the favor of Quincy.
It is a 60-second timeout. We're back here in just a moment on the K-Hawk Sports Network.
All Pro Tees in Caseyville is your place for custom apparel and has been for over 20 years now. Why? All Pro Tees can handle any size project, big or small, and they specialize in large group orders. At All Pro Tees, quality is number one on their list of priorities, as is evident by their excellent customer service. Did we mention All Pro Tees has over 20 years of experience? They can even help with fundraisers and event merchandising for your group. So for all of your apparel needs, for civic groups, sports teams, business outings, or even a family reunion, your apparel needs stop at All Pro Tees. All Pro Tees in Caseyville, right across the street from K-Hawk Stadium. Online at allprotees.com or on Facebook at All Pro Tees. Or call All Pro Tees at 344-2200.
Once again, we welcome you back to Virgil Fletcher Gymnasium here at Collinsville High School. Thank you all very much for watching. We have over 1,000 people watching live right now, and we certainly do appreciate that. And that usually has a lot to do with the longevity of the drive with the schools. You got Quincy and Decatur on the floor, so not all these folks are going to drive this far for a game. So we appreciate you watching and helping us out here.
Yeah, this is the first time we've had two teams who are really far away from each other in a while play against each other. And the support has been unbelievable, and we hope that you are enjoying your experience on the K-Hawk Sports Network, and we hope you've enjoyed it for the duration of the Prairie Farms Holiday Classic.
There's a little drive, almost alley-oop, little left up in the air pass, but they couldn't complete it, could the Generals. Here is a three-point shot by Loncourt, and we're going to have a whistle on the floor away from the play.
I think that's on Decatur MacArthur? Okay, it is. because I was confused quickly there because I thought it may have been on Quincy. A little bit of a fight there again. Every rebound now becomes important.
That's the first team foul here in the second half by MacArthur.
MacArthur better be careful. If I'm MacArthur, I'm playing more aggressive on Quincy because I need more fouls to happen. Unless you're Mekhi Wright, who has 2. You don't want Mekhi Wright to be in foul trouble.
4-point game. And thrown away ball again by Quincy. Here comes Richardson, and he turns that turnover into 2 points. 6-point lead for MacArthur.
Points off of bad Quincy turnovers right there. Azarion Richardson has forced some massive ones in this second half.
Here is Wires. Wires on the outside edge of the right wing. Bounces it, and Loncourt bounces it over to Thomas, who gives it up for Clay. Clay, he dribbles and gives it up for Wires. Wires from the right side, top of the key, 3-point shot, good for Brown.
Woo-hoo-hoo! Camden Brown feeling himself late in this one. Some huge threes here. If Quincy didn't have those Camden Brown threes, this game might be already over.
Here is Cunningham, gets it across the line to Richardson, who finds Tatum. Tatum throws it up into the corner, and Cunningham got there just in time. Now to Wright in the paint. He got the ball knocked out of his hand. Quincy gets the turnover. They bring it up. Here is Loncourt behind the back dribble. He comes in from the right side.
What a pass!
Underneath for Thomas. Good for 2.
He has such a good area of space. He understands space so well, Bradley Loncourt, and he knew that he was going to have a better opportunity to pass the ball there. Suddenly, Quincy have the momentum, Todd.
1-point advantage for the Generals. 3:20 left to play here in this fourth quarter. Back at the midcourt stripe is Richardson. Richardson, left hand leisurely dribble. Over toward that left wing. Brings it back toward the top of the key. Has a little screen there from Walker. Gets it over to Cunningham. Back to Walker. Walker takes the shot. It rolls across the rim, but Wright is there to put it back.
No one was there to rebound over Mekhi Wright because Keyshawn Thomas had to guard the initial shot.
Wires brings it up. He's trying to get a little pressure coming his way from Richardson. And Richardson all over him.
Almost another steal for Richardson.
Yeah. Over to Clay. To Loncourt. Loncourt. And a whistle away from the play. It'll be a foul, but it'll be a non-shooting foul, obviously. And this one is going to go against Stevie Tatum, and Tatum now has three fouls.
We saw a really rough game against Bevel East. This game has been really clean between both teams. MacArthur doing a really good job of not fouling. That was a little bit of a ticky-tack call there, but again, not that many being called, and I think MacArthur will take that as it relates to not having that many guys in foul trouble. It's a good adjustment from the Generals.
3-point game, and it's getting late. 2:35 left to go here in this fourth quarter. Here is Wires. Wires, he'll dribble out near the midcourt circle, has some room, takes it in, and takes it back out. Almost turned over on a backcourt violation. Here's Brown in the paint, takes the shot, and a blocking foul coming up against Walker.
And he's telling himself down here, we just saw it right over there. He said, catch the ball, and clapped his hands a couple of times. But a good recovery there by Camden Brown, who goes up for the layup here. And now Quincy need to make sure they make these free throws. And you know what? Camden Brown has had a really good game here. He didn't play in this tournament championship last year because he had a football injury, Todd. And now he has an opportunity to be a big piece of a remarkable Quincy win here against a really good opponent in Decatur MacArthur.
6'5" junior at the free throw line, ready to launch shot number 1. That one's good. And he'll get another one. That puts the Blue Devils back to within 2. Brown readies himself at the free throw line once again. Let's go the second shot, and that one's no good. Rebound belongs to Walker, and he'll put it into the hands of Richardson, who finds Cunningham. Cunningham, he skirts parallel with the scorer's table, and over on the left wing, now to the right side, he gives it up for Richardson. Richardson at the top of the key. We approach 2 minutes to go here in this fourth quarter. King D's with the ball in front of his own bench. Back to Richardson. That ball is tipped out of bounds, and it will remain Generals' ball.
The Generals have to do a really good job of trying to find the right shot here. You don't want to fling up some messy shot with 5 seconds to go. That'll only make the Quincy defense feel even more strong. The biggest possession for Quincy so far of their season.
There's Chris Walker 2-pointer from just underneath the basket. That makes it a 4-point game. 1:50 to go here in this fourth quarter. Here is Wires. Wires comes across the line, and a picked off pass by Richardson. That should be an easy enough layup, and he gets the fingertip roll, and up by 6 points are the Generals. Here is Loncourt. Loncourt brings the ball up with 90 seconds to go here in the fourth from the free throw line. Shot off to the right, didn't fall. Thomas gets the rebound. Back over to Loncourt. Loncourt, he dribbles just outside the lane. Dumps it off. Thomas, glass, good for 2. 4-point game once again. 1:15 left to play here in this fourth quarter.
Need a stop here now if you're Quincy. And MacArthur will try to bleed the shot clock here.
There is Cunningham over to Dees. Dees with a 3-point shot. Oh, that one just missed. But the Walker rebound is going to go off of the rim, and a whistle will follow.
I understand Andy Douglas sitting Ralph Wires here down the stretch because Wires was having a bad attitude. But his brother Cameron has not played that much in this tournament, and I think he's kind of cracking under the pressure. Gave up that turnover to Azarian Richardson, who's now up to 17 points in the championship game. Who would have thought of that? And now Chris Walker, who has the experience in these types of situations, except for the free throws. He made the big free throws against Springfield or against in their championship, in their regional title last season. Some
Ralph
huge
Wires,
free throws that iced the game, and he hasn't hit them today.
Ralph Wires checks back into the game. He'll take the place of Thomas. And one more shot coming up for Walker. 1:03 left to go on the clock here at Virgil Fletcher in the fourth quarter of this championship match. 4 points separate the two teams. And right now, Chris Walker trying to make it 5, and he does. Here comes Loncourt. 1 minute to go here in this fourth quarter. Loncourt directing traffic. Gets it up to Wires. And Ralph Wires hands the ball off for Clay, who gives it to the younger Wires. Back over for Brown for 3. No good. Rebound belongs to Cunningham. He saves it, and he gets it over to Tatum. Tatum, he's trapped in the backcourt, and we have a timeout on the floor.
That's a good timeout there. I think is it going to be a full timeout, Todd? I'm not quite sure.
I'm not sure either. We're just going to go ahead and keep it here for this one. We have 40.2 seconds left, 53-48 in favor of the Generals. It's a 5-point advantage right now for the Generals, and Quincy, they're running out of time, man. They're running out of luck.
Yep, and I'll say this. If you're Quincy, I don't think you're going to be able to do the 1-2-2 zone press that's kind of, a little bit relaxed. They're going to have to go and trap in the corners here in order to try to get a stop. You don't have enough time to allow MacArthur to dry the shot clock out and take a shot, because then 31 seconds on the shot clock, but Quincy would only have 9 seconds left. The good news is for the Blue Devils is the Generals are in the bonus now in the next Blue Devil foul. And the other good news for Quincy is that the Generals haven't done a fantastic job of shooting free throws in this game, like they did against Belleville East. Unlike they did against Belleville East. And if I'm MacArthur right now, I played against Quincy down the stretch in the sectional semifinal last year. You have to be ready for any Quincy Blue Devil, not just Bradley Loncourt. You have to be ready for any player to step up and take a shot. All of these guys have extreme confidence. This is a group that have been playing with each other for a really long time, since the 7th grade. They know each other, and they're confident in each other to make big moments. If MacArthur can hold on to the basketball and put together a couple good passes and break this press, they'll win and repeat.
The Wires brothers are out on the floor for Quincy, as is Dom Clay, Loncourt as well, and Brown. Here is Tatum to inbound for the Generals. They have on the floor Richardson, Cunningham, and Walker, as well as Mackay right, and Walker brings it in, and a foul will be had, and that is going to be the 7th team foul for the Blue Devils. That means that we're going to the line to shoot a 1-and-1, and this time it's going to be Chris Walker.
And Crocker's probably the right person to foul in this situation, but Chris Walker's actually the only player on this MacArthur team that saw significant minutes in last year's tournament title run. He knows what it takes to win this game, and now Quincy have to play the foul game, and they've got to hit shots down the stretch here.
Walker will be at the free throw line, shooting a 1-and-1. Quincy is hoping for a miss and a rebound, as right now they trail by 5. 2-possession game, 32.9 seconds left on the clock.
And Andy Douglas is going to bring in Tyler Sprick. That's a 3-point shooting option there for Quincy. Andy Douglas should have 1 or 2 timeouts left in his pocket if he needs them to stop the clock, should Quincy make a shot here on the other side.
Walker at the free throw line. It all starts with him. Big old sigh, big deep breath. Walker bends at the knees, throws one up there, and that one's good. He'll stay up for another, and if he makes this one, that's going to be a 3-possession contest. Walker has the ball, ready for his second shot. Takes another deep breath, bends at the knees, and shoots that one in as well.
That is what great
lead.
Players do, great athletes do. Make those free throws down the stretch. Quincy got to get a shot off quick.
Here is Loncourt. He'll drive all the way to the basket, get the fingertip roll, and Coach Douglas will call a timeout. And that is another 5-point lead. It is a 60-second timeout. We'll go ahead and take about half of that, and we'll be back here in 30 seconds on the K-Hawk Sports Network.
I couldn't ask for a better agent, for a better company in a disaster where you have no idea where to start.
I learned that there's not a given in life. It takes a team. There's people that are going to watch out for us and that care.
It's been pretty stressful. Once we saw Lori and got our plan, it's
like a huge weight lifted.
In Collinsville, call Scott Allen at 618-346-1500.
Back at Virgil Fletcher Gymnasium, Todd Duke and Matt Clark with you for the final game of the 32 games here at this gymnasium over the last 3 days. And it's been a lot of fun, and this game has been a lot of fun. 55-50. 26.5 seconds to go. Quincy trails by 5. MacArthur looking for back-to-back championships and their 3rd overall here in this tournament.
And should MacArthur win this game, they should be very thankful that their role players have stepped up in big ways down the stretch. Azarion Richardson and Chris Walker, 2 players from the starting 5 that haven't had that much to do with MacArthur making it to the championship game, have made some huge shots down the stretch, and Quincy's role players just haven't been able to replicate that kind of feeling.
King Dees will trigger the inbound pass for the Generals. He does so to Cunningham. Gets it back to Dees. Dees will be fouled by Loncourt. Loncourt will pick up foul number 8 for his team. And for him, it's his second. 23.2 seconds to go. And to the free throw line is King Dees. Dees in this tournament has done 4 for 5 from the free throw line.
And I might sound a little punny here, Todd, but if Dees can make both of these free throws, I have a feeling that that's going to be enough to make the MacArthur Generals the kings of the Prairie Farms Holiday Classic. Got to make them both, though.
Trying for back-to-back championships. And the first shot, that's going to swoop right out of there. Rebound belongs to Wires. Wires brings it up, down to 20 seconds left. Here is Loncourt. Loncourt pulls up, no room. He's double-teamed, throws it over to the side.
Oh, he lost the ball.
Clay for 3. Yes!
Wow!
Whoa,
he
boy.
lost the basketball and still got it up. And there's going to be a timeout by Andy Douglas. That's his last timeout. It's a full. And 2 or 3 seconds kind of dried off the clock there before he took it. We might have a discussion here.
I think that's what the referees are talking about. I think there should be about 10 seconds left on the clock. Right now it's set at 8.5. We'll see what they want to do here.
And I think, no, they're not going to add any time up. And that's because Andy Douglas didn't take that timeout quick enough. A couple of seconds just dried off there. Although I've seen some Quincy fans over here on the near side say, oh, that should be switched.
They're not going to.
Yep, 8.5 seconds left. So, listen, Quincy has been in this position before, even at this high school here. You know, they played against the Collinsville K-Hawks last season, came from behind a little bit, and were able to win this game. You got to bank on Decatur MacArthur missing one of their 2 free throws, and you got to try to get a steal. If you're Quincy, do not give up, and I mean do not give up a long pass. These MacArthur Generals are good athletes. They can throw the ball long, and that's maybe what Therese Bryson was drawing up there with 8.5 seconds to play.
2-point contest. Inbound pass will be triggered right underneath our location by Tatum.
The perfect end to this Prairie Farms Holiday Classic.
You ain't kidding there, brother. Tatum looks. Better get it in there quick. They finally do. And up the court comes Richardson. He'll be pushed from behind by Ralph Wires. And that stops the clock with 6.1 seconds left. And that will send the Generals back to the free throw line.
Yep, another fitting moment here. Azarion Richardson tonight has just been a step above everyone else. Quincy weren't focused on him, probably didn't think that he was going to have that big of a game. At the end of the third quarter, he was 5 of 14, way more shots than any other MacArthur General, 3 of 9 for 3, and on a night where Mekhi Wright, who probably will win MVP of this tournament should MacArthur win the tournament, was cold, Azarion Richardson stepped up, and he could step up here in the biggest moment of Decatur MacArthur's season.
If he makes both, this game is over. Here's the first one, and it comes out. Rebound. Who wants it? And it belongs to MacArthur. 3 seconds left. Another foul and another chance for some free throws.
You wouldn't expect anything else from Decatur MacArthur. Azarion Richardson gets his own rebound, and that is what MacArthur has been all about from the start of this tournament when they tipped off against Madison at 11:30 like 2 days ago to right now with 3 seconds to go in the championship game. That's why they're champions. That's the mentality you have to need.
Richardson back to the free throw line, trying to make one, and he will. That'll leave him up there for another one. It's a 3-point game, and this one all depends on the make or not.
Quincy will be kicking themselves on the bus ride home if they can't get this done. They have had their chances. They had some easy layups. They had some shot opportunities. They gave up way too many rebounds in the second half, Todd, and way too many second chance points. And when you do that, you can't expect to get first place in such a tough tournament field as this one has been.
Richardson's second shot on the way, and that one is good, and that's going to seal the deal.
Wow.
3 seconds left, a 30-second timeout on the floor. I believe that MacArthur took that one because they want to set up whatever defense they need, but there's no such thing as a 4-point shot in basketball.
Well, Therese Bryson only needs a 30-second timeout to discuss to these players 3 words. Do not foul. And I mean do not foul. You don't have to foul at all.
I'd let Quincy run all the way up and score.
And just throw one in. Quincy's going to need to throw the ball really long and try to get an easy bucket, but I'm pretty sure Andy Douglas doesn't have any timeouts left, so the clock should run. So should Decatur MacArthur even do anything? In my opinion, no. I wouldn't even guard this. I would guard inside the paint at all costs if I'm Decatur MacArthur. No stupid fouls. They have 3 fouls, so a foul off the ball is not going to put Quincy in the bonus. That would be a problem. And you know what? I got the pleasure, and I hope the MacArthur fans from Decatur have enjoyed the both of us because we've had all 4 of MacArthur's games.
Been a lot of fun.
I don't see a more fitting champion out of the 16 teams we've seen at the Prairie Farms Holiday Classic this season. And Therese Bryson has got something special going on at Decatur MacArthur.
Sprick, he is going to inbound. He does so to Wires. Wires will come to the midcourt stripe, fire up a shot at the buzzer, no good, and that's going to do it. Decatur MacArthur, back-to-back champions here at the Prairie Farms Holiday Basketball Tournament and their 3rd title in this tournament's existence.
What a way for Decatur MacArthur to win. Therese Bryson, with his animation and his theatrics on the sideline, got these Decatur MacArthur Generals to play the toughest style of basketball. And at the end of the day, when the chips were down, when it was all on the line, right at the end, Decatur MacArthur just had that much more. And I think it was because every one of their players played a massive part in this tournament's success. When you think about Quincy, you could think, okay, Ralph, Camden Brown, Bradley Longcore, Keyshawn Thomas, they were the ones who had some pretty good games. And this is a really important moment for Quincy to remember because they were 1 quarter away from going to the state tournament last season, and they blew it in the 4th quarter against Bolingbrook. This is a team that still is young, still needs to gain that experience. But when you're thinking about 4A, Belleville East is going to give you a tough test in regionals or sectionals, and O'Fallon's going to do the exact same thing. And Moline, a team that Quincy just lost to, they would play them in sectionals as well. So they've got to figure out how can we elevate ourselves to the next level.
Trophy presentation time here at the Prairie Farms Tournament.
And Quincy are now 0 of 3 in the last 3 since 2000 in championship games at the Prairie Farms Holiday Classic.
Second place trophy handed out to Quincy. First place trophy coming up.
And congratulations to the MacArthur Generals. 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 for their back-to-back championship in the 38th annual Collinsville Prairie Farms Holiday Classic.
Yes, indeed. Congratulations to the Generals from Decatur-MacArthur High School. We're going to keep it right here. They're going to announce the all-tournament team and the MVP here in just a little bit. But a big thank you to all you guys for joining us, man. You guys think I'm helping you out? You're helping me out. If you guys weren't here, I wouldn't have a voice right now.
Oh yeah, no kidding. And we got to see some fantastic games in day 1, day 2, day 3, and you know I'm going to the University of Missouri to study broadcast journalism. This was a great opportunity to learn a little bit about what it's like to play, or what it's like to not just to play, but to call a tournament like this. And in those big moments, it was so much fun to see these players giving absolutely 100%, and you know what? Decatur-MacArthur won, and they deserved it. I love when we have deserving champions here at the Prairie Farms Holiday Classic. I think I would imagine, if I'm not mistaken, the 4th team in Prairie Farms Holiday Classic history to defend their title and go back-to-back.
Back-to-back champs always sounds nice.
And also, I think we should give a big special thanks to our athletic director, Clay Smith.
Oh, always.
Our superintendent, Dr. Brad Skirtich, our principal here, Dan Toberman. And we'll give all the other thanks after Chad Burgess calls the all-tournament team here at the Prairie Farms Holiday Classic.
And we're about to find out the all-tournament team and the MVP here at this tournament.
If the members are here, you can come on down to the court and get your all-tournament medal. The 38th annual Collinsville Holiday Classic all-tournament team members are Jordan Lewis from Altoff, Drew Winslow from Triad, Zach Chambers from Collinsville, Jake Wilkinson from Collinsville, Matthew Horde from Rockford East, Antoine Wilson from Belleville East, Bradley Longcore III from Quincy, Chase Cunningham from Decatur-MacArthur, Azarion Richardson, Decatur-MacArthur, Makai Wright, Decatur-MacArthur, and the tournament MVP this year from Belleville East, Jordan Pickett. to the all-tournament team. And thank you for attending the 38th Annual Prairie Farms Holiday Classic.
Tournament team and team MVP all announced here, and if you missed out on that one, Jordan Lewis from Altoff, Drew Winslow from Triad, Zach Chambers and Jake Wilkinson from Collinsville, Matt Horde from Rockford East, Antwine Wilson from Belleville East, Bradley Loncourt from Quincy, 3 from Decatur-MacArthur, Chase Cunningham, Azarion Richardson, and Mackay Wright, and the MVP of the tournament, one Mr. Jordan Pickett. Final thoughts there, Matt Clark.
So the final thoughts that I have are, I don't want to bash on my fellow media members that called the all-tournament team, and there were a couple of Decatur-MacArthur fans that were furious at Chad Burgess. Like Mr. Burgess had nothing, had anything to do with the all-tournament team, because in my opinion, Mackay Wright should have been the tournament MVP. The MVP, the most valuable player, comes from the team that wins the championship game. I just have a feeling about that. There were a couple of snubs there. I mean, Keon Carson was great for Lincoln. I loved watching him. TJ McNeil led that Collierville team and was great. And Trey Harris from McClure North in that Constellation Championship game, I called it. I thought he outplayed Drew Winslow down the stretch there. I think Winslow had a fine game, but you're talking about the team, the players who were able to play well on day 3 or something like that. And I get Jordan Pickett had this amazing dunk, and oh my goodness. And Jordan Pickett is a special player, and he's going to be a special player even in the college level. But Mackay Wright, in my opinion, should have won MVP. Just a personal thought. And I'll also say this: Decatur-MacArthur, they shouldn't be. If fans, general fans, I wouldn't be worried about who won MVP because I won the tournament, and they had 3 all-tournament players on there. And Azarion Richardson, I mean, we had to have those tournament ballots due before halftime. So I turned mine in before before the game, and I didn't know Azarion Richardson was going to go off like this. So I'm glad that Azarion Richardson was included in the all-tournament team, and a great tournament and a deserved champion.
That is going to do it for us here for the 38th edition of this Prairie Farms Holiday Basketball Tournament.
We did it!
We'll be back here next year for the 39th edition of this tournament. And a big thank you to everybody involved. Dr. Chris McCluskey chipping in, helping us out during the Collinsville games. Matt Clark, Zach Roseman, his brother Josh Roseman. We had all kinds of help up here in the booth. A big thank you to the folks running the hospitality room. They did a bang-up job. And again, a big special thanks to Athletic Director Clay Smith and all the other administrative staff personnel here at Collinsville High School. We certainly do appreciate it. We hope you had as much of a blast watching it as we have had bringing it to you. My name is Todd Duke. Until Tuesday, I got some K-Hawk hockey coming up against Belleville from O'Fallon at the Recplex at 7:30. Bowling Wednesday afternoon, girls basketball Thursday night, boys basketball Friday night. We get a little bit of a rest here, and that's about it. My name is Todd Duke. Glad that you're stuck out with us. Everybody have yourselves a fantastic new year.